Well, I guess we'll do a happy recap after all. Why, hi there. I'm Ron Juckett, and the Nationals have beaten the Baltimore Orioles 7-6 on an unlikely, yes, I see a little fuzz bunny in my hair, unlikely comeback in the bottom of the ninth inning to win this, to break a three-game losing streak, and the only Washington-based team to win tonight, as we send our deep condolences to the Caps fans on their 2-0 loss to the Penguins and the Wizards losing to the Celtics. But the Nationals win. And that's a huge win because they were down 6-2. And you know who the hero was tonight? Michael A. Taylor, who had, don't drool, who had 4 RBIs. 4! Including a 2-run homer. Just a magnificent night. Let's get to the totals. Seven runs on 13 hits and no errors for Washington, including 3 in the ninth. 6 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for Baltimore. Matt Albers gets the win. He goes to 2-0. Zach Brock, he had absolutely nothing tonight, goes to 0-1. So, a good effort by Stephen Strasburg is rewarded. Blake Trinan allowed a home run in the 7th, but he pretty much pitched 2 decent innings. Jason Worth, my goodness, did he battle and battle and battle. He had the solo shot to start the ninth on an 11-pitch at-bat. He had a 9-pitch at-bat earlier. You know, it's those little things that make him so valuable. And it really paid off tonight. Bryce Harper, 2 for 5 with a strikeout and a run scored. Daniel hits Murphy. He went 1 for 4, but he homered and scored twice. Anthony Rendon with a big single in the ninth. Matt Wieters, 3 for 5 tonight with 2 RBI. No, I'm sorry. Michael Taylor had 3 RBIs, but 2 for 4 with a home run. Just an all-around, well, I won't say all-around good effort because they were flat, but they hung in there, and they tagged the O's Pan for 5 in the last 2 innings. This was a 6-2 game going into the middle of the 8th inning, and Washington came back to win. These are the games that they've struggled with so far this season, but not tonight. They have the win. Worth saw 33 pitches tonight. 20 in those 2 at-bats. Ricky Keeler just told me that. So 20 in those 2 at-bats. He worked a walk in the first one and had the solo shot in the ninth. Just absolutely incredible. If he wants to play next year, sign him. Sign him, please, right? To an extension. You just can't buy that experience. Let's see if anything of what you were saying on Twitter. Everyone seems to like what's going on right now. With runners in scoring position tonight, they went 4 for 13. They went 1 for 9 last night. They stranded 11. You know who had 3 two-out RBI tonight? Michael Taylor with 3 of those. The single earlier and then the 2-run shot in the 8th. Extra base hits tonight. Harper with a double and then his 9th of the year in the 9th off of Brock. Taylor with a 2-run homer off of Asher in the 8th. And then Worth started the 9th with that homer. So Taylor had 3 RBIs. Murphy had 1 for his 30th. Worth with a solo shot, his 11th. And Wieters with a 2 for the walk-off, give him 15. He's now hitting, I think, 285. Just good stuff. Pitching boxes tonight. Strasburg, 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned. It's the first time this year Strasburg did not go 7 innings. He walked 2, struck out 9, and gave up a home run. A lot of breaking balls tonight. Sliders, changeups, and curves with the fastballs being mixed in late. Trinan, as we said, you want to say he looked good, but he gave up a solo shot. 2 hits in 2 innings. He struck out 2. The ERA is at 8.10. And Matt Albers, the only runs he's given up all year was the 3-run shot given up to Arthur on Sunday. He struck out the side in the 9th, as a matter of fact, and he did it on 16 pitches. So Strasburg, 100 pitches tonight, 68 for strikes. Trinan, probably, let's look at these numbers. He threw 22, he hit 98 on the gun, and he threw 18 of them for strikes. Brock with a blown save in his first loss, a third of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 1 and gave up the homer. Wade Miley threw 119 pitches in 5 innings tonight. I mean, this is one of the reasons why the Nats came back. They made the Orioles go to the pen and made them have to get 12 outs. They got 10. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 4 and struck out 5 in that effort. So the Nationals did the right thing. They ground out at-bats, including Worth, including Harper, and they get to a tired pen and win the ball game. Right, Rick just makes that point too in the chat, and it just eventually making Miley throw the 119 pitches paid off due to the extra inning game last night. Ricky, do you think that Strasburg was feeling some of the effects from his 125 pitch start his last time out? He just did not look sharp. I mean, he got the job done. Kind of a gritty and gutty 100-pitch performance, but it wasn't, vintage Strasburg. And in fact, just a lot of off-speed pitch. Swing and miss stuff, kind of like what Scherzer had last night. It worked, but it wasn't what you would call a vintage performance by any stretch. While Rick tries to give me an answer, let's tell you what else happened in the division today. The Mets blew a 5-1 lead to the Giants. Giants win 6-5. The Phillies lost today to Seattle 11-6. And the Marlins are down 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning to St. Louis. I don't see any other crazy games going on. Tampa beat Kansas City, by the way, 12-1 today. I suppose that's kind of the thing. And the Colorado beat the Cubs 3-0. So the Nationals will gain a game in the standings on the Mets. They're now 22-12, and I believe now the lead is 5.5 games on this 10th day of May. So through 34 games, there are 128 games to go of this crazy, crazy season. So jump in the chat if you'd like and leave me a note or do something, put something on Twitter at District on Deck, and I'll try to answer your questions. Rick answers my question with this. Possible, although also because of the cramp. Strange he does better when he doesn't strike out many hitters. Yeah, it's true. I think pitching to contact with his defense is a good thing, but you have to be confident in your stuff. Strasburg, when he got into trouble early tonight, did it with the first batter of the inning. He walked, I believe 2 of his walks came to start an inning, and then he settled down in. The first and I think the 5th, he started with runners on first and second with nobody out. Maybe it was the 4th, but I definitely remember it was the first. But hey, he got the job done. He kept the team did his best to try to keep him in the game, and as I said, Trinan pitched well despite the homer. And Albers, would you really believe that Matt Albers, who was a non-roster invitee, would be the best reliever on the staff? It just boggles the mind, but here they are. The bullpen's used to blowing these games, not winning them, and tonight they won the game and set it up for Washington to go through and score 5 off of Baltimore's bullpen. Boy, it feels good to get that off another team, doesn't it? They've had it done enough to them, and now turnabout is fair play. And so lots of good chatter on Twitter for Matt Wieters winning the ballgame. Set a 2-run to center field. It's a 2-run single off the glove of the first baseman, and they just scored. And as I said, Brock had absolutely nothing tonight, and it worked. So the Nationals can go for the split tomorrow night at 7:05. A.J. Cole against Dylan Bundy in that one. So the Nats can take the split the 4 in this Beltway series. They would take it. They really would take it. It's a big comeback win for the Nationals. I know most of you are very disappointed what happened at the Verizon Center tonight with the Capitals losing 2-0 to the Penguins. I didn't see a final score for the Wizards game, but I knew it was never close. So hopefully that brought a little bit of joy to what I understand and know for certain was a disappointing night. Hey Al, how you doing? Red Sox, I think, were losing the last time I looked. You can let me know. Let's take a look at what happened in the minor leagues today, and it was pretty much a morning baseball session everywhere and a getaway day for a lot of these teams. Actually, there's a couple games going on. Let's go through those. Potomac and Wilmington are making up a game from April 6th, and they're tied at 2 in the 10th. Both teams had runs in the 8th, no homers in the game. Bottom of the 10th at Hagerstown, or in Rome, Hagerstown leads and doesn't lead the Braves. They go to the bottom of the 10th. They're tied at 7, no home runs in that game as well. Ricky just dropped a note. I think, responding to the quote, Dusty's quote, can you elaborate that on that a little bit, please? My voice is gone. I got a little bit of a sore throat. Not feeling all that great. AAA Syracuse lost to Buffalo today, 7-1. Hill with a loss goes to 1-4 with a 9.29 ERA. Syracuse held to 4 hits. Harrisburg loses to Erie this today, 5-3. Brian Lara with a loss. He goes to 0-1 with a 5.11 ERA. Soto with a homer is 4th, and Irving Ballou with his first of the year for Harrisburg. And in the first game of it's a doubleheader tonight in Wilmington. Potomac won that 6-1, 6 runs on 8 hits and an error. Baez with a win, he goes to 1-4 with a 5.74 ERA, and Gushy with 2 homers for Potomac. He now has 10 on the year. Guess we're gonna have to see if we can do a profile on him. That's pretty impressive. So overall, a mixed day for the Baby Nats. Okay, the quote was Ricky was talking about the resiliency of the club in close games, basically. And Dusty's right. They've been waiting for them to respond for a bit. And when they finally had the chance, they did it. And you know what? They kind of made it look easy. And Michael A. Taylor, I mean, when he singled for the first hit today, he took what the pitcher gave him. It was a nice, short, compact swing. And that was the same with the home run. That ball just traveled pretty far. It hit off that little message board above the visitors' bullpen. I mean, that was not a cheap home run at all. That ball was well struck. I urge, patience at the plate. But for Taylor, I think it's important for him to be a little more aggressive early in the count. You want him making contact because he starts thinking about it and strikes out. I got a Dusty quote here I'll get to in a second. With Trey Turner, who struggled tonight, he did finally get a hit. He needs to it's allergies, Al. It's allergies. He needs just to slow the game down and take pitches. Make pitchers pitch. Follow what Jason Worth is doing behind him. As we said, Worth looked at 33 pitches tonight. That's an amazing number. So Turner just needs to stop, slow down, talk with Daniel Murphy, talk with Bryce Harper, as someone suggested on Twitter, because Harper just tried to hit for the downs early in his career. If all the talent's there, just take some of the pressure off yourself and relax and let the game come to you. It's what Taylor did tonight. Yeah, my wife is really struggling with the allergies too, Al. All right, so here's the quote from Dusty. It seems like the tighter the game gets towards the end, we're not performing fundamentally like I would like. That's what he said last night after the late loss to Baltimore. And tonight they responded to that. Now, Dusty's never going to throw his team under the bus. He really roots for his guys. But he finally had Washington finally had the advantage of getting on a team that wasn't playing all that well there. And so for the first 6-7 innings, when Washington, as I said earlier on Twitter, was playing as flat as a bottle of ginger ale open bottle of ginger ale left on the counter overnight, they were given an opportunity and they cashed in on it. And that's what you have to do. And that's why I think in the end, Washington will make the playoffs because of that, because there just isn't really anyone else in the division that can do that. This offense is too good. And when you're still facing even a slumping Zimmerman to a point, you're facing Worth, Harper, Zimmerman, and Murphy, you can't get through that gauntlet without making some sort of mistake unless you're pitching really well. And that's just what happened tonight. All right. So tomorrow on the site, we will have Drew Douglas has a nice story on the battle for the fifth starter and whether it should be Jacob Turner or A.J. Cole. He makes a good point on why Turner should be the starter and why Joe Ross is struggling. But we know right now it's Cole, and Ricky Keeler has a good chat with Andrew Stevenson, who's made it up to Syracuse. We'd like to thank the Syracuse Chiefs for making him available. And so that will run tomorrow at noon. So that should about do it for us tonight, as I'm losing my voice pretty quick here. The final score. It's a good thing I don't do these games on the radio, or else I wouldn't have any voice at all. Final score tonight, Washington 7, Baltimore 6 on the Matt Wieters 2-run single in the bottom of the ninth. And as Bob Lobel would have said on WBZ back in the 80s and 90s, don't you wish the Orioles had players like Matt Wieters? I'm sure they do tonight. That's a big win. Once again, condolences to the Nats and condolences to the Capitals for their season ending. And the Wizards now will have Game 6 at home to try to put away their series. For Ricky Keeler and the rest of the staff at District on Deck, I'm Ron Juckett. Really, I'm okay, but we'll talk to you tomorrow. You'll be here tomorrow. Good night from District on Deck.